Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from lovetocreate.typepad.com. This week I'm going to have a blog post and a video. Actually, I hope to have a tutorial for the cards that I'll show. I'm going to do it through April 6th through the 10th, and this will take the place of my classes that I usually take at my or have at my home. I just wanted to put something out there in case you need something to fill a little time while maybe you are sheltering at home or trying to stay at home. So today is Monday, April the 6th, and it will be the first card in our class. And I wanted to show you this card. I got it in the mail from a friend of mine named Sharon Verity. And I liked it so much that I used this and adapted it to the card that we're going to make today. Let me show you hers. She used the Honeybee suite, and she also used the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I love those dies. When you open it, you have this part that opens up and a place for your sayings. Now, she didn't write in here, so I could use it again. She had a little note inside. But I just really liked the way this looked. So this is the card that we're going to make today. It has the same kind of idea to it. So we'll get busy with this. I wanted to tell you that the products that I'm using today are from the Ornate Garden Suite. You probably have seen this diagram from place to place. Real quickly, let me tell you what is in the suite. I don't want to spend too much time, but I do want you to know. So you have the Ornate Thanks stamp set and the Ornate Borders dies. These two come together as a bundle. There's also another stamp set, the Ornate Style, and it has these dies that are called the Ornate Layers. These two can come as a bundle. There is Designer Series paper that lots of flowers and pretty colors. It's a specialty paper with some shiny pieces and just real cute. If you like flowers, you're gonna like this. There's also a new color in this. I think it's probably the background here. Maybe those little bit darker spots or this in here called Bumblebee. That's going to be one of our new in colors, we think. This will be in the new annual catalog when it starts on June 1st, but it's available for everyone to have a pre-order. Maybe you just need something new while you're holed up in your home. So really pretty paper. There's ribbon in the suite that comes in old olive and terracotta tile. Very pliable, easy to work with and to tie in a bow and use. And these are called gilded gems. There's also, here it is, an embossing folder. And right this moment, I don't know the name of that. Let me look on this sheet and see if I can find an Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder. So these are some of the things we're going to use. We won't be using everything in that bundle to make this or suite. So you can order the parts, you can order bundles, you can order the entire suite. It's just a really nice new product. So let's get started making this card. And to start with, we have a card base of old olive, and this is 5.5 by 8.5. I have scored it down the center at 4 1/4, and we're just going to take this and fold it in half. I'm still going to try to match my corners a little bit, and then I'll use the bone folder to make a nice crisp fold. Now for the white inside piece, the measurements are 5 1/4 by 8. 5 1/4 by 8. And now we'll have a blog post and it will have these measurements in there. So I'm going to score that at 4 and 6. 4 and 6. And I will, even though you have score lines, you want to do things like match the corners and all to keep those folds straight. And when I fold this back, I'm going to want to make sure that it's straight on the sides before I burnish it with my folder. So I did a fold that goes in toward the center and then back out for that. Okay, so we want to have our card front covered in our designer paper. This is the paper that I chose to use, and this paper is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And to start off, we're going to glue this paper to our card front. So I'm going to set that white aside for now. And you want to glue this really, really well because you're going to be cutting the center out of this. So I'm going to cover that pretty well with my glue. I don't usually use this much. And then we're going to place that, if you'll give me just a second. Sorry about that. I started the video without having my glasses on. And I'm going to need them. So I'm going to place this, and I like to use glue because it has a little bit of give to it. And you can move that around as you need to. Now, I think I can see that this is a little long here. So what I'm going to do is close this now, and I'm going to trim my paper along that bottom. So that it fits my cardstock. Okay, and I can see it looks like I got that a little bit past the fold. So I'm going to trim that there also, but I don't want to cut my cardstock. And I'll have 2 pieces of paper. Okay, we'll just push that out of the way. And we have this ready to go. Now I'm going to be using the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and these are really, really nice dies. They're in the mini catalog right now, hoping that they will go over to the annual catalog because I don't know how much I have used those, but quite a bit. We're going to be using the 2nd largest and the 3rd largest for our card. And so the next thing we're going to do is cut out this piece right here. Okay, so to do that, we're going to have to open up our card. You only want to cut through the one piece. And I'm going to lay this down and try to center it as best I could. Now I can actually get a ruler and really measure that and everything, but I'm just not going to. I think I'm going to depend on my vision to help me with that. And I did put a little bit of tape here to help hold that in place. I'm not sure it's enough. I'm going to pull in my Big Shot and we'll cut this together. And I've got my basic plate, my adapter, a clear plate, And then we're going to lay this. Make sure your card is open. You don't want to cut through all of the layers. And then we'll roll this through. That's probably going to shake. And remember, we are cutting through several layers, so I think I'm going to do that a couple of times through there. Okay, and we will, let me make sure that it's cut. Yeah, so I'll move this out of the way. I just wanted you to see that we wanted to make sure the card was open before we cut. And then I'm going to very carefully lift up this. I just used washi tape. I'm going to lift that up carefully because I don't want to tear my paper. So now we have this and this for our card. All right. So the next step that I'm going to do is work on my small white piece. And I've already cut that out. I used this third size and just whisper white that I had to cut that out. And we'll do some stamping on this. I want to move over my card that I had and lay that there so I can kind of watch, and I might just move this out of the way for right now. I'm going to be stamping with the daisy from Ornate Style, and I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso. That's the color that goes with the rest. And these flowers, I don't know if you can tell, are stamped or outlined in the brown. So that's why I wanted to do that for our card here. So I'm going to stamp the daisy, and I'm going to tell you, and this is from experience, if you stamp really, really hard, you're going to end up with ink around the outside here, and it's probably going to stamp on your card. So just tap, tap, tap. And it doesn't hurt to check it, and I would clean it probably if I saw that there was a big mess there. So I'm going to stamp here, and then I'm going to tap lightly up. See, I have some around there. So let me get a Kleenex. And even though this might go off of my card, I just want you to see that, especially when you have something thin like that, it's really, really easy to get ink around there. And I want another flower down this way. So I'm going to stamp again. Now these don't really match, but this will cover that up. All right, let me close my brown and move that stamp aside, and we'll do a little bit of coloring. For this, I'm using crushed curry, and I'm using the Stampin' Right marker. This is part of the Regals, and I'm just going to use that to color in the center of my daisies. Does this paper remind you of the 70s? If you were around in the 70s? It does me. It makes me think of, actually makes me think of getting married. I had bridesmaids dresses that were green, and they had an overlay over part of it. My mother sewed my bridesmaids dresses for each bridesmaid. Had a little overlay of white daisies. And then they wore a big kind of a hat with a big brim on there. Doesn't that sound 70s to you? So I'm using Old Olive to color my leaves, and I used the light, then I put a little bit of the dark, and now I've gone back with the light for that. So that coloring is done. All right, all right, I actually am not seeing that I have that out. I was just going to have everything perfectly ready, and I'm not seeing that. Okay. I don't have my stamp that says my friend. Let me look here. Got it. Sorry about that. So I'm going to take a scrap and I'm going to stamp again in Early Espresso the word my friend. I used this on a tape that I made just a while ago. So I had moved it with those supplies. And then I'm going to pull in the classic label punch. And I'm going to put that friend part way over at the edge. Try to get that straight. And what I'm going to do is trim this friend part. Okay. Let me close that again. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to glue this right across here. I'm going to kind of start it where the stitching is on there and go across. And you can see that it kind of hides where those two flowers come together. And then I have already tied a bow. I do use one of these bow makers to do my bow. I just ordered it from online and just look up bow maker. And so I've done that, and I'm going to get a glue dot and kind of roll that up. Okay, and then add my bow on there, and then let me trim that a little bit. Good, I wasn't sure these would be scissors that were sharp enough. They're not my ribbon scissors. Okay, so there's this part, and then we'll bring back. I want to make sure that this goes with what I cut, that everything flows. So that's the way I want it. And oops. And then I will add this to that part with dimensionals. So let me just add some of those here around the outside. Stick them in there. Okay, and then we'll try to put this in the middle of all of that. Okay, so there's the insert that would go here. All right, now let's work on the inside of the card. And so I'll bring this back, and this inside that we folded is going to go right in here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that over. The glue is going to go on the big solid piece. So let me put that there. And I want to put it in so that the folds are on the outside. Again, I like to use the glue for something like this so that I have a little bit of movement on all of that. Okay, now what we'll do is this will be glued here, but you need to know where to glue it. So the way that I do that is I'm going to fold the card and I'm going to hold it, and while I'm holding it I'm going to put glue in this space right here. Okay. Now I'm going to lay my card right in there so that it fits perfectly, and I'm going to push down on that. Then I can open it up and push down a little bit better. And you see that this side will be glued and this side won't, and when you shut it, it will shut perfectly on there. Okay, now we want to do a little something on the inside. This is what I did on the other one. I stamped these corners first. This is part of the Ornate style stamp set, but the more I looked at that, the more I did not like it. So I'm going to leave that part off. Let me show you that when I stamped this flower, I didn't want that stamp to go down into the corner. So I used a scrap. This is the scrap I used, and I laid it there and put part of the flower on that so it would stop in time. Okay. But with what I'm going to do today, I probably won't need to do that. So I'm going to take my daisy, and again, we'll anchor up, check that, and I'm just going to put it down here in the corner. And then for my words, this is from the Ornate style. It says, just wanted to say, not Ornate style, Ornate thanks. The Ornate thanks, just wanted to say. So I'm going to put that up there. And then I'm going to use this hello. And this hello is actually from the Timeless Tropical stamp set. So I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to kind of check that too. And then we'll hope that I can get this kind of straight on here. That's pretty good. Just wanted to say hello. So that's the card that we're going to make. And which do you like better? Do you like it with the little swirlies in the corner, or do you like it without? I'm not so sure, but I did realize that I haven't colored this flower yet. So let's do that. And I did decide to leave those flowers white. I just love white daisies. And so let me color. This is with the light Old Olive blend. And then the dark Old Olive blend. I'm just going to add a little bit down here to the bottom of it. And then I'm going to just blend that just a little. I love blends. I don't feel like I'm a very good colorer with blends, but I'm coming along. So here's the first card of our class for this week, the card for Monday, and it's made using the Ornate Garden Suite. I know some of you have it already, and I noticed a couple people have ordered that today, and you're going to love it. I'm going to be honest, when I first saw it, I thought that is too fancy for me, but I have made several cards, and I am really loving it. This morning, I also have another blog post for my color fusers, and I used the same stamp set, and we made this card, and I also have a video that goes with that. So I hope you'll check on my blog today at lovetocreate.typepad.com. 2 cards using the Ornate Garden Suite. Both of them have videos. I did color all of that so that you could see how I colored. And I hope you'll take a look. I hope you enjoyed today's card. I will do another one tomorrow. Today, if you make a comment on my blog, on my YouTube video, you'll have to go to YouTube. I'm going to give away this pack of designer paper. It's 4 by 6. So it's big enough to do a card front or do whatever. This is all paper that, except for the celebration now, is current. And if you would like to win that, if you'll just make a comment on my YouTube video, I will pick someone from there. So thank you very much. I appreciate you coming. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.